Tack, herr talman.
Thank you, Vice President. We're here to debate this record heat in 2024 and the need to take climate change actions. I'm not questioning the fact that it's warmer or that climate change actions are needed, but the EU is not responsible for the greatest amount of emissions. It's communist China which is responsible, and they're also the greatest winner, the greatest benefit of our climate policy, because I can see my colleagues simply don't understand that the EU cannot save the world by demolishing our own industry and making life difficult for the common citizen. Your policies mean that jobs leave Europe. And, moreover, emissions aren't disappearing either. They just simply moved to other parts of the world. Instead, for strangling our industry, we need to cut down unnecessary EU bureaucracy. We should focus on innovation. If we look at history, it's the development of technology which is best to reduce emissions. And we really need to have a realistic climate policy. We can't have these doomsday prophecies and this anxiety, but those who are beating themselves, who are trying just to avoid getting the plague, well, actually, they end up being part of spreading the plague.
Sorry, Madam Timgren, colleague Timgren, you have a blue card from Benedetta Scuderi. Would you like to take it?
From who?
From Benedetta Scuderi.
Okay.
From Greens, yeah. Yes, thank you.
You said that we need to address the global emissions, but then your party would oppose to anything that is tackling that, like the due diligence law or the deforestation law that is actually tackling what we do outside of Europe. Your party is not addressing anything that is tackling the overconsumption, and we know that overconsumption is produced in third countries. Your party is very, very strong partner and very close to Trump, that is going to be the president that is going to increase the American emissions. And I would like to remember you that the US is the second responsible for emissions in the planet. So how do you think we can solve the planetary emissions if your party wants to stop anything that Europe could do to play its part on the international level?
Please, you have a floor to answer, please.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, we need to increase the emission. I said that. That's of course, it's important. But we need to do that by innovation, not with shut down all the industries and move them to other parts of the world. That's not a solution. Or close the nuclear power. Look what happened in Germany. It will not save the planet or EU. We need to focus on both innovation, competitiveness, to be able to have a climate politics. And I think it's important to balance these two, to have an effective politic. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, colleague Timgren. You have one more blue card from Emma Wiesner. Perhaps you know her. So.
Now, this is ridiculous. Sweden Democrats are complaining about the climate crisis and complaining about China, but your party voted no to have emission trading, and you voted against CBAM, which is going to reduce the emissions in China, and you want to replace this with use of fossil fuel. Now, Sweden Democrats actually have a worse climate policy than the AfD. So how can you complain about a climate crisis when your party doesn't have one single intelligent proposal on how we should be reducing emissions?
You have time for answer, please.
Yeah, tack.
Thank you very much. I think that our party is one of the few parties that has a realistic proposal on how we should do this. You just can't pump a huge amount of money into a system and think everything is going to be solved. You have to have development. You have to have innovation. Otherwise, we're not going to have any progress. We have to have energy. We have to have nuclear power. We have to balance technology and innovation. That's the only way of having an efficient climate policy, which will benefit our economy, because we're behind when it comes to innovation.
Now we continue debate. Next speaker, Herben Jan Herbrandi, for 1 minute.